Okay. We should be live up in here, up in there. Should be live up in here, up in here. Yes, we are. What's up, Cole? What's up, Cole? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Let me go ahead and share this. I'm going to share this to a couple of places, actually. One of them being the freaking community tab that I finally have. I'm so happy I have this. It's like so convenient now because it's so convenient now because it prevents for those that don't follow me on Twitter or don't have a Twitter account or whatever, they can now just pay attention to the community posts, because now what I'm going to do is that some of the same posts that I will make on Twitter related to the channel is now going to go on the community post too. So if you don't follow me on Twitter, no worries, they're going to show up there too. So yeah, man, that is so convenient. We're going to give it a minute. We're going to let people get in there. But what's up? What's up, everyone? How you doing? How's life? Hope you're having a good week. Like I said, we're going to give it a couple of minutes to get people in here. But when we do, I promise you, I'm not going to be here for too long. I can promise you that much. We are going to talk about the show, talk about the channel. We're going to do all that stuff. Get it done, that out of the way, and let people move on with their weekend. I mean, granted, I know it's a Friday, and that's technically a weekend, but it's the start of it, and everybody's going to want to go handle their business. So I'm going to give it about another minute or two. Let people get in. When people get in, we'll get started. When we get started, the quicker we start, the quicker we can finish. Send this out to the group chat. We should be good. Alright, cool. And if people don't join, they're perfectly fine. This thing will be up for a replay. For about 2 minutes, and we're going to give it about another 2 minutes and we should be good. Yo, what's up, Nick? Happy Friday to you. Happy Friday to you. And give it about 60 more seconds, or less than 60 seconds, and we're just going to get up and popping there. Come on, clock. We're about 3 minutes in. Happy Friday to you, Nick. I'm going to give it a little bit more time for people to matriculate in there, or trickle in there, whatever the deal, however you want to say it. By the way, guys, I do now have a community tab, so for those who don't follow me on Twitter, yeah, I have another outlet. Good. Because some of the same tweets that I make on Twitter are now going to go in the community tab for people who don't follow me there. And of course, I got some fun stuff I want to do in the community tab just for you guys, the people who follow me here on YouTube and all the other fun jazz. So yeah. All right, let's get into it. We're 4 minutes in. All right, what is up? It's your boy J&W Boss in the building. Welcoming you guys to another edition of J&W versus the World, where we scour the globe and see what other universes have to offer. We're going to kind of stay at home base here. By the way, Nick, I would like to get you on one time. We can talk about your stuff, especially with the Great American Bash, because that show was awesome. But anyways, let's talk about it. First, we're kind of going in sequential order here. End of an Era is done. End of an Era is a wrap. End of an Era is in the books. It is still up on the channel. In fact, I think it's actually still the pinned. Yeah, it should be the still pinned video on the channel. So if you haven't checked out the show, go check it out. We're going to talk about it here in a moment. But what does that mean for this channel? For those that may have not seen it on Twitter, I did say that since End of an Era is done and dusted, that I would be taking a bit of a break. From Universe Mode content specifically. I also did mention it in a previous live, but I'm going to restate it here for those that may have missed it. I will be taking a brief break from Universe Mode content. It's really a way just to recharge and replenish my energy and all this other fun jazz that comes with taking a break here. And given that I've been working pretty extensively on this universe mode stuff over the past few months with trying to get to breaking boundaries, and then with trying to get to this show here, because I knew this is where I wanted to get to. I knew End of an Era was a show that I'm like, all right, once I get here, I can kind of reset, like hit like a reset button, if that makes sense. My bad, my phone hit the table in front of me. But once I get to End of an Era, I knew it could reset, and so I wanted to get to End of an Era because, well, it's a new chapter. I'm excited about it. It's a new chapter. It's a direction that I feel would be, I guess, beneficial for myself in the long run, because part of the reason I wanted to do this in the first place is because I was getting a little drained. I was feeling drained from doing the 3-show format of AOA, AOR, and TNA, and I want to be able to give the best that I can to the people who like the call stuff and the people who just like the IRL stuff. I want to be able to give the best energy I can to that, so why not do it in a way where I'm not feeling burned out and drained from doing it, and still giving you guys the content that you guys want. Yes, it meant that I had to take TNA back again, put it on another hiatus again, but I can promise you, since ACW is now a thing, TNA will not be going anywhere anytime soon. So, for those of you guys that have been fans of TNA, I'm sorry. I really am. Again, I didn't want to do the 3-show format, and I didn't want to keep y'all waiting and all this other stuff. So, and if I didn't drop TNA when I did, which was after Against All Odds for the time being, or not drop TNA, because it's still coming back, but like, if I didn't put TNA on the hiatus when it did, then it probably would have took me longer to get to this show here. Even though getting to this show was still a bit of a hassle, because it was like, I had to get to Breaking Boundaries and then do both nights of the draft and then get to here. So, long process. But we're here. And with that, I will be taking a brief 30-day break. 30 days. So, June 30th, July 1st, one of the deals. We'll be back with it. Don't worry. But until then, content will not stop. If I do have something I want to do, I want to dive back into the retro stuff, as I do want to kind of do a run through with SmackDown. Here Comes, not Here Comes the Pain, I did that one. Shut Your Mouth, SmackDown Shut Your Mouth for the PlayStation 2. I may throw in another game, maybe Mortal Kombat Armageddon Conquest Mode or something like that. And I also do have a custom story for WWE, solely for WWE 2K22, that I want to dive back into as well. I started it a while ago, and I want to kind of bring it back here. So that's really the game plan there. Just to do a brief recap for those that may be coming in or things of that nature. End of an Era is done. I'm going to take a 30-minute break from Universe Mode content, and I will be back with it around the 30th. So you're going to see ACW breaking news and stuff for TNA and all this other stuff. So you're going to see all that come the 30th and July 1st and going forward. Just need some time, and I hope you guys can understand where I'm coming from in that resolve. Content will not stop, as retro gaming going to return, as well as the custom 2K22 story mode. I may start from the top of that. I'm still debating. I might start from the top, or I might just continue where I left off. Let's see. We'll see. And with that out of the way, any other news? Again, I have a community tab. Check there for news, updates, or on Twitter, or both. Just in case you're missing in one spot, you'll see it in another. And with that being said, let's get to this end of an era pay-per-view. But I guess before I do that, the fact that we even made it here is incredible in of itself, because when All Out Action started, All Out Action was the first one back in 2016, late 2016. It is night and day. If you look at the older episodes and you look now, it is night and day compared to where we're at right now, and that shows. I wanted to make this thing succeed, and the fact that along the way I met so many great creators, I got so many great, I got working relationship with some creators on here, and it has allowed me to do a lot of opportunities, and admittedly, probably it's the thing that gave me the most success here on this channel when it comes to this universe mode content. So when All Out Action, All Out Revolution began, I didn't think it would have the impact that it did and the reach that it has and everything, and it's been incredible. So I thank all of you for the support of All Out Action and All Out Revolution. Oh, and during this break, I just thought of this on the fly. I probably might just upload randomly some of what I feel were some of the best All Out Action and All Out Revolution matches for those that may have never seen them or came late to the dance and all the other stuff. So that's also something I'll implement here going on throughout this break as well. But our final 2 episodes took place. Those were banger shows. Great way to go out. The Iron Man match was fantastic. And the cage match was pretty good, though it was kind of outshined by the TLC match. In hindsight, I wish I switched the order of those matches. Because the TLC match was the first time I ever did something of that sort, and it was just great. It was excellent. I love how it turned out. And without further ado, let's get into the end of an era pay-per-view. We kick it off. We got a cool intro video package, pyro. First match, Millennium Riders versus Ace Stone and JH3. This match was a little bit interesting in my book because I had the Millennium Rider coming in hurt from the TLC match, and there's no way I couldn't have them come in hurt, given everything that happened to them in that match. So if I would have come in and they kind of act like spring chickens, I don't know what to tell you. It would have been a bad look, not the wisest move in the world to make. However, I would say with that, this match still started off hot with the arm drag, the quick arm drag in the beginning, and just the combos and the fast-paced offense that the Millennium Riders is known for. And I was trying to tell a little bit of a story here, that even though the Millennium Riders are hurt, even though the Millennium Riders are banged up, that they're not going to go down. This isn't going to be an easy walk in the park contest for the Twisted Disciples, despite the fact that Ace Stone and JA3 wasn't a battle of their own in the 2 out of 3 falls match for the tag team titles against 2 Squad Up. And them doing the Twisted Disciples doing the G9, the over-the-shoulder neckbreaker thing, that was not planned. I didn't plan for that to happen. In fact, I forgot that they had that move in their arsenal. And then when they hit it, I'm like, oh wait, that was 2 Squad Up finisher. And now I can tell a story with them doing 2 Squad Up finisher in a disrespectful manner and all this other fun jazz. So Ace Stone and JA3, they were kind of playing that they were being disrespectful. They were wearing down the Millennium Riders, getting, again, just real physical, all the double teams, isolating one of them. Even stooping to some underhanded tactics, using the baseball bat, and it came into play twice during the match. First, I think the referee accidentally gets knocked down, so Ace goes, or I think it was JA3. Go and grab a baseball bat, start hitting Brian. Wait, Was he hitting Brian or Sean with it? I think he was hitting Sean. He was hitting one of them with the baseball bat, got a near fall there. And then the bat comes into play at the tail end of the match, which, okay. And the, okay, CTP chat. Check out CTP SummerSlam if you haven't. But, that comes into play at the very end when the Twisted Disciples and Millennium Riders, they're kind of just brawling out in the ring. Actually, no. J3 goes to grab a bat, but one of the Millennium Rider members puts a stop to it. A-Stone capitalizes, hits the Twisted Intentions and the Broken Will. 1, 2, 3. There we go. Twisted Disciples are the first ever ACW Tag Team Champions and the final AOA Tag Team Champion. I'm actually cool with it. I don't have any regrets about that. I think that match really could have went either way, but more or less I was leaning towards the side of the Twisted Disciples winning this thing because that's been a team I have been putting a lot of my stock into since the start, and I wanted to make them tag champions for the longest time. But then the thing with NXT happened. We did our Armageddon storyline, which meant the tag titles left the show and everything. And I'm not mad at it, but if that didn't happen, then probably the Twisted Disciples would have been tag champions way sooner than they won them. And again, I'm not mad that I went along with the storyline. Why would I be mad at it? But that storyline happened, and then that led to the tag team title going to NXT. It's a long story there. But we got the title back to squad up, or Twisted Disciples win them, and then they go into End of an Era at the final tag team champions. They beat the Millennium Riders, and now they are the first ever ACW tag team champion. When it comes to all tag matches, this was pretty good. It was actually really good. I like how this one started. Again, very fast paced and everything. Again, the story told throughout it. Good match. I actually like the way that this one started. Following that was a little video package hinting at the No Limit return. A group of Okada Jr. and Yorio. I'm debating if I should say this live or not, or save it for the chat, but I have a particular feeling about the name Okada Jr., but it's not my group, so I can't change the name. Listen, when people give me their calls, I don't change the name because I don't feel comfortable doing so. But I digress. No Limit going to be making a return when? Well, y'all have to sit back and watch and figure that part out. And we move on from there immediately into the second match of the night. Gloria versus Carolyn for the women's title unification matchup. Gloria being the AOR women's champion, Carolyn being the AOA women's champion. I wanted to start this match out slow, and it started out slow. They got some chain wrestling in, but it was only a matter of time before the power game took over. And once these two start trading power moves, then that's when this match really picked up and got good. So many near falls. I was telling the story early on that Gloria is going to need to use her agility to beat Carolyn, and that she has a leg up on Carolyn as far as agility goes, and we saw that during certain parts of this matchup with Gloria doing moves from the middle rope and the top rope, and just using her body as a weapon, being real fast, leaving her feet with a cross body, a standing cross body, standing cross. Yeah, I guess it's standing cross body. Or is it the cross body off the rope? Rebound cross body off the rope. All this other stuff. Carolyn showing her reach advantage. And admittedly, there was one point in the match where Gloria was trying to do these shots to the midsection, and for some reason they were not connecting despite being right in front of her. Thanks, 2K. You are tremendous for that. But I was able to tell a story off of that and say, Gloria's small stature fails in this case. Carolyn was able to take control. It was just a great back and forth contest, admittedly. Very good. Honestly, now that I'm looking back on it, this match actually should have and could have been higher on the card. Like, if I would have swapped out Brandon and Alex spot for this match, and then with the rest of the card, we're going to get to that. With the rest of the card going how it went, the show would have been off the chain. It wasn't a bad pay-per-view, though. I'm not going to say it was. It was a really good pay-per-view. I enjoyed it. Yeah, Gloria, she does her thing, and Carolyn gets the win. Or, no, I'm wrong. Gloria gets the win. At the tail end, hitting the drop the base after it failed. I need to stop hitting my phone against this table. But Gloria wins, drops the base on Carolyn, and Gloria wins. She's the first ever ACW Women's Champion. This was really a toss-up. Full stop for background stuff. I didn't decide the winner of this match until either right before I was about to record it, or literally as I was recording the match. Seriously, I was at a toss-up this entire time for this match. With the Disciples, Millennium Riders, I pretty much knew who I wanted to win. I was like good 80% sure I wanted the Twitter Disciple to win. This one was, oh man, it was a toss-up. I literally thought about doing a coin flip for who I wanted to win this matchup. But I decided to go with Gloria for this, and then Carolyn, well, you'll see what she did in a minute. Or I'll go over what she did in a minute. The next thing that happened, we took a break. We go to the backstage area. A to J, Jackson Wade gives their final thoughts on this matchup tonight. A to J basically says that he's ready to go. After going 60 minutes with Johnny Rivers and then getting attacked by Jackson Wade, he's ready to fight. He's down for the talk. He's ready to go. Jackson Wade, a little bit more aggressive in his approach, says, I'm not even going to talk about A to J. I just going to want y'all to see what I do to him. And that just a small way to set up the build for the main event. And then, somewhere far away, in the other part of the arena, Carolyn Amber is attacking Gloria Bass here, upset about the laws, beating her with a chair. It's a hot mess. And Carolyn just leaves Gloria laying there. Again, it's implementing that she kind of turned heel here, and we kind of double down on that later, just in case y'all didn't know, but we double down on that later. Coming up next, Sean Wright, Austin Wallace, Adrian Oxley, triple threat match for the AOA All-Star, AOA United States, and AOR Global Championship. For the first time ever, I've done a three-way title unification match, as crazy as that was. But this match here, oh wait, real quick, Austin with the gold cape and the gold trunk or short and all that other stuff. Listen, I like big pay-per-view for Austin Wallace because that's always the time where I have him bring out the most gaudiest thing he can with the cape. I remember the best variation of it was back at AOA, like Armageddon Season 1, where he come out with the robe and the piano and the music. It was just awesome. I might bring that back and get it at some point. But for now, I just had him go with the gold cape and everything, and it just looked awesome with the rock style entrance. I think I gave him it's like Rock 2000 or something like that. One of the older Rock championship entrances. It just worked so well with him. The cape, everything was just great. Sean's attire were pretty cool too. It's the white and blue. And they matched the arena and it matched the belt. It was cool. And then Adrian's attire was pretty simple. Just a simple blue and red thing. I wanted to make this matchup quick. I mean, faster than fast-paced. Did I think the match was only going to last 10 minutes? No, I did not. That I was not expecting. I literally thought this match was going to go. In fact, I think this match was actually the shortest match of the night. Yeah, it was actually. That was only like 10 minutes. But then again, we did come from a match that was like 2 matches that combined went like 40 minutes. So by the time you get to this point with the intro video, match number 1, match number 2, and these 2 segments and the 2 previous segments I talked about with the promo and the attack from Carolyn, we're about 40 minutes into the show. So yeah, maybe slowing it down or, well, keeping a fast pace, but not having a super long match here worked out well. And I think it did in the grand scheme of things. I was nervous about it at first, but then once I caught the show and then once I watched it back, I'm like, okay, that actually worked perfectly. And so the story I was telling is that Sean was ready for these 2. He knew they were going to try to double team him because that's the story that I was playing into leading up to this match, that Adrian is stupid for trusting Austin Wallace, and of course it's a big show, so of course I'm going to lose my marbles without Austin Wallace coming out and doing literally anything. So I have fun with this guy, I really do. And, you know, we're going to get to him a little bit later. But I have a little bit of fun with Austin Wallace here during this match, playing just a biased commentator the whole time. And again, the story leading up to it was Adrian is stupid for trusting Austin Wallace, and so Austin is going to turn on him. I don't know why Adrian is trusting him, and in hindsight, I should have did this later on, but he did turn on Adrian Oxley in this matchup. Hits him with the brainbuster, gets a close 2 count, or close 3 count, 2.9, bro. But then after that, that kind of left Austin on everybody's hit list. He was already on Sean's hit list. And then Adrian after him turning on Adrian was gunning for him. In fact, though, Austin didn't get a ton of offense in this matchup after the brainbuster. He got like a little bit here and there, but everything else was between Adrian and Sean, which I feel kind of works here. But we get toward the end of the match. Adrian hits a night and dive to Sean on the floor. Austin's right there, brainbusters him on the floor, throws him back in. He hits the brainbuster again, but then Jason Wells hit the ring with a baseball bat, cracks him over the head with it, hits him with a lion saw. I didn't mean to do that, but I said, okay, whatever, I'll keep it. So, so that happened. So then he picks up Adrian, tosses him out. And then he allowed for Sean to get the win here and become technically the AOA All-Star, AOA United States and Global Champion, thus making him the first ever, what we now know to be the ACW Global Champion. Because admittedly, I tried to think of a new championship for ACW, and I couldn't think of one at all. Because all the other names sounded very similar to the ones I already had. And I didn't want to do Hardcore Champion or anything like that, because ACW doesn't really have a hardcore division like that. I didn't want to do anything like that. I didn't want to do country-based, so like European or whatever. I didn't want to do anything like that. But I guess the closest compromise I came to was whoever wins technically get to keep that championship legacy going, because there's a championship made for each champion. So if Austin would have won, he would have been the ACW All-Star Champion. If Adrian would have won, he would have been the ACW United States Champion. And then, of course, process of elimination, Sean, ACW Global Champion. One other fun fact to point out here. Jason Wells, I promise you I didn't do this on purpose, but Jason Wells was the same man that helped Austin Wallace win the United States, the All-Star Championship the very first time, back in Next Level List Season 1. He caused Max Wolf a ladder match, and that kind of started, actually no it didn't. It didn't even start their alliance, but yeah, at least it didn't start their alliance yet, but Jason did cost Max cost Mac Wolf the All-Star Championship, which allowed Austin Wallace to win the championship the first time in the very first championship match. So, and I find it very funny that on the final All-Star Championship defense, it's Jason Wells that cost Austin Wallace the same title. So the way that came full circle was actually great. I didn't even think about that at the time because, of course, I didn't think ACW was going to be a thing. I didn't think AOR was going to be a thing. None of that. So the fact that it was able to come full circle in this way is crazy cool. Crazy cool. And, of course, that sets up the first matchup for ACW between Austin Wallace and Jason Wells. We're going to get to that later. But after Sean wins, Damian Miles show up. For those that check out Gold's channel, and if you don't do it, he had 2 nights worth of SummerSlam that you should check out. In fact, I will probably pin it at some point or tag him in it in a community post because I want y'all to go check that stuff out before he gets Raw, NXT, SmackDown, and TakeOver Atlanta out. Those shows were fire. Moving on, though. Damian Miles. Gold did a podcast with the Damian Miles character, and during the show, he, was talking trash about AO and AOR, and I was in the chat messing around and be like, bro, you really don't want to try that? I'm just saying. And so, and then he said he was going to show up and win the championship over here. And I said, oh, man. So I put my booking hat on and said, yo, guys, we can make some money off this. Not for real, but, we can make something out of it. And so they were like, yeah, let's do it. And so I said, give me Damian Miles and let's make something happen. And here we are. Damian Miles comes out and he says, yo, Sean, I remember you because I was a part of CTP team at World Collide, and I was a part of CTP's team at World Collide, beating your All-Star and Global Champion respectively, and so I challenge you, I saw that, and so I challenge you to a matchup for your championship on the very first episode of ACW. Note, this man is not signed, and the next segment that happened immediately after this confirmed it. The Ice is getting on Mr. Bloomberg's case. He go, bro, what the heck? He's not signed. What are you doing? Why are you allowing this to take place? Come on, man. Get your stuff together. Mr. Bloomberg, being an idiot, justifies the decision in saying, oh, it's for the betterment of ACW and we need to make a splash. And right. All this while he has Lorenzo Sampson running around and he isn't signed either. So there's your problem. We're going to see how that turns out. Moving forward, we have a grudge match between Angelina Spears and Ashley Knight. This formed because of everything that happened at Breaking Boundaries, in which Ashley got involved in the last woman standing match between, or Angelina got involved in the live woman standing match between Ashley and Chloe as they were wrapping up their rivalry. They get to the point where they're fighting on the top of the truck. Angelina rushes out, runs up the ladder, and tosses Chloe off, hitting her back on the crate on the way down. So Ashley wins the match, but the thing is, Ashley didn't want Angelina's help in the first place. And Angelina seemed to have had this obsession with Ashley, saying that she wants Ashley as a friend, and Angelina, or Ashley's kind of not reading the room, let me start from the top. Angelina wants Ashley as a friend. Ashley doesn't want to, because she's kind of creepy and giving off all types of wrong vibes here. Angelina's not reading the room, decided to help anyways, and Ashley made it crystal clear that, yo, whatever it is, I want you to go away. I want you to leave me alone. I didn't want that match to end that way. Just please go away. Unfortunately, they got drafted to the same show. The tournament continued. Angelina had attacked Ashley. All this other stuff. Ashley retaliated. Here we are with the grudge match. Given the two women in this match, it could have been better. That actually could have been a freaking barn burner, to tell you the truth. But given these two, this match, I feel could have been better. Wasn't bad by any means, but like, I don't know. I've had Angelina in better matches, and I've had Ashley in better matches. These two together, they didn't do bad here. I don't think they were like horrible against each other, or that they didn't have chemistry. But I don't know. Maybe it's a thing of like, that was my first time ever having like recording a match between those two. So yeah, got a couple of kings in the armor that you need to, I need to work out between those two. And I'm pretty sure it happened to a lot of the Universe Mode creators. Whenever you get started matching two people up that you never matched up for the first time, sometimes it works, but sometimes, And it was, wasn't bad, but it was solid with Ashley picking up the win here of the GTS. I tried to play it off with a little bit of a fight, a little bit of a battle here, but it could have been better. Could have been better. After that, Carolyn comes out, attacks Ashley Knight, again, really just cementing the fact that Carolyn is not a heel. Please boo this woman. Thank you. Just attacks Ashley. We're going to see where that leads to. Coming up next, we're almost done here. Brandon 101 versus Alec. Family versus family. This one has a lot of back history. And to make a long story short, Brandon and Alec, they were a tag team. They were seen as a joke. Alec wanted to evolve. Brandon didn't. So Alec evolved himself. They got him and Brandon to become the tag team champion. They won the title. Brandon then in about 5 minutes lost them because he said he was willing to do an open challenge right here, right now. And Wolfpack came out, beat them, and then Alec turned on Brandon. As one probably would in that situation. Like they literally had the title and then lost them like 5 to 10 minutes later because of Brandon saying open challenge when Alec wasn't ready for that. He didn't want that, all that stuff. So, Alec goes about his merry way. He allies with Draven. Draven is giving him all these tests. A bit ridiculous tests, but whatever. With the consequence of if Alec fails, Alec was going to get beat with a baseball bat, pretty much. Get a beat down for it. Brandon couldn't take anymore. He goes out there, he saves him. And Alec wants nothing to do with Brandon. He said it to him before, and then he physically showed him by attacking him after he saved him. And then act for this matchup here. Oh, and then on the final episode of All Out Revolution, Alec revealed that, yeah, we ain't family. We are brothers, but we ain't like father and son like y'all were thinking. And I had to retcon that because they look way too similar to be father and son. They look like brothers. There was no age difference. You couldn't really tell an age difference between either or, so I had to do something. And that was it. So we get to this matchup here, and I was telling a bit of a story of Brandon doesn't want to fight. So he's walking out. He's leaving. He's letting Alex try to pin him. But Alex ain't letting him. He said, nah, I'm not going to beat you unless you actually fight me. So Alex goes to grab a steel chair, tries to crack Brandon's head in. Brandon's not going to let that happen. He could have let him get a win, but he ain't going to let him get his head cracked in because of it. Nah, that ain't about to happen. So Alex tried it again later on in the matchup. Brandon countered, and then at that moment he realizes, okay, well, I got to do what I got to do. So he throws Alex in. They actually start having a match here. And then once they actually start having a match, I think it got pretty good. It was good. Not great. Nothing barn burner or anything, but it was good. Good little matchup between these two. Long story short, we get towards the end of the matchup. Alex undoes the turnbuckle. He's looking to throw Brandon into it. Brandon reversed it, but I tried to play it up like maybe he didn't know the turnbuckle was undone. Because Brandon by this point was bleeding, probably had blood in his eyes, probably didn't see what Alex was doing because he was on the ground, all that other stuff. And then at one point, the finish of the match comes. Brandon goes to grab a chair, and then the referee takes the chair out of his hand, but Brandon clotheslined him, and then he grabbed the chair. And then Alex is saying, yo, hit me. Hit me. End my career like I ended yours. Like I tried to end yours. Hit me. Hit me, you punk. Hit me. Come on. Brandon couldn't do it. He dropped the chair. Alex immediately takes advantage, hits him with the DDT, grabs him with the chair, beats him with the chair, picks him up, brainbuster, 1, 2, 3, Alex wins. For a story, I thought it was good. For a story-based match, this was good. And I didn't plan for this to be this epic, family war. I wanted to tell this story here with this matchup, and I think as far as the story I wanted to get across, in this particular matchup, Brandon not wanting to fight in the first place, and Alec were being ready to rock and roll, it worked. To me, I think it worked. Probably could have been, maybe not the best quality-wise, probably like, from a quality standpoint, probably the worst match of the night, but, but for a story standpoint, if you're a fan of that, I hope you enjoy it. Hope you enjoy this one. After the match, Draven comes out with the same baseball bat he'd been beating Alex Sandler with. He drops it in the ring. Now, in hindsight, I technically should have Draven say something here. I mean, I implied it on commentary, but should have said something. Hey, finish him off, something like that. Whatever. Alan grabs the bat. He's debating on what to do with it. Because by this point, Brandon made it back to his feet. Does he go and he beats the crap out of Brandon with it? Or does he turn around and hit Draven with it? Or does something else? He thinks about it. He looks at Brandon, looks at Draven, looks at Brandon. Looks like Draven, turns around, bashes him with the bat. Start beating him down with the bat. Brandon gets in. It's like, yes, good. He seemed to like everything's going to be all right. Right? Then Alex turned around and hits Brandon with it. Okay, then. He picks up Draven, hits him with the DDT, picks up Brandon, hits him with the brainbuster, walks out. So Alex is now his own man. He says, I don't need Draven, I don't need Brandon, I'm going to do me. So we're going to see if Alex does him. We're going to see where that goes. We're going to see how that goes for him. Where Brandon and Draven go from this, I know where Draven's going to go with this. I know where Draven's going to go with this. I'm ready. I'm ready for that. Where Brandon goes, well, I might write him off for a bit. He'll be back. He'll be back. He will be back. Don't you worry. He'll be back. Co-main event. Before we get to that, we have a segment here where Dwayne Frost is talking to Nate Shields saying, hey, tonight may be the final ride between you and I, or for you and me. But if it is, go out there and give it 100%. And he's saying all this to Nate Shields because Nate Shields is in a special challenge matchup. And in this match is chosen by Mr. Bloomberg with Nate not knowing what the match is and who it will be until he gets out to the ring. So, and the stipulation is if Nate loses, him and Dwayne Frost are both fired because Nate Shields did put his hands on the ice prior on an episode of All Out Action. And in fact, if he didn't, then it actually would have been Nate Shields versus Darren 1-on-1 at the end of an era, and Nate would have got his match. It would have been all fine and dandy, but no, he had to lose his cool, and so now he had to be in this. I don't know what to tell you, bro. Again, all Nate had to do was keep it cool, but now he ends up in this spot. Thanks. And so Nate goes out to the ring. Still has the "You Will Pay" and then Darren Tartan logo on the back. We're going to see where that goes, man. It's going to get spicy. That's going to get spicy. I can't wait for y'all to see that. But Nate comes out, and he hears there's a no disqualification match. Okay, against who, though? It is against Monster. And for historical purposes, this is the same guy who, in the storyline here, Nate was the guy who trained this guy, who mentored this guy, who showed this guy the ropes, showed him how to be aggressive and do all that stuff. With Nate showing up at Last Stand of Season 1 to get us started here. So, Nate, Monster, no disqualification. They destroy each other. They beat the brakes off each other, man. This one gets ugly. Monster was dominating a good portion of this matchup. Nate was able to counter as Monster went crashing through a table. Nate takes flight over the top rope. There were one point in this matchup where Nate gets split wide open, as Monster would punch him in the head repeatedly. He then takes him and then snake eyes him off the exposed steel turnbuckle. That busted Nate open good. Nate eventually gets back in this matchup, avoiding the tombstone, tombstoning Monster instead. It is a beautiful shot of Nate covering Monster off the tombstone. His face is looking a hot mess after getting split open and everything. So many more different weapon spots and weapon counters and near falls and great stuff. I love this matchup, actually. To me, it's a toss-up between this or the main event as the match of the night. But this one did indeed have the spot of the night. So there was one point where Nate is on the floor. Monster sets up a table on the outside of the ring. Monster grabs Nate, puts him on the table. He goes to the top of the ladder. He's looking to jump off this ladder to Nate Shields on the floor. But Nate is able to get back up. He gets back in. He hits him. He takes him to the asylum. Hits the attitude adjustment from the top of the ladder, sending Monster crashing all the way to the outside, to the floor. Cool spot. Really cool spot. I even like the camera angle visuals that I had on it, like with it kind of angling up towards the ladder, and we see Monster drop from there to the floor. I think it was just good stuff. Great stuff. Great match. Because all that happens next, Nate brings him back in, hits him to the asylum, rhubarb, one more time to pick up the win, keep his career, and one more thing. Not only did he keep him and Dwayne's career, but Darren's suspension, the guy who he's been wanting to wrestle in the first place, is lifted sooner than expected. I didn't give a date. I didn't give any of that because I want y'all to see when it's lifted, but it does get lifted. It will be lifted sooner than originally intended. And so it's still going to be a little bit of uphill battle. You guys are going to see the challenges that Nate may have to go through to still get his hands on him in the first place. We're going to get to that. But for the purpose of this matchup, this wasn't a bad match. It wasn't a bad opponent. Now, here's where I kind of disappoint some people. So, a little bit of background here. This match was originally going to be something different. First it was originally going to be Nate versus Darren, then I decided to run the suspension thing to drag the thing out a little bit. The second thing, yes, it was still going to be Nate and Monster. I think regardless, I had Nate and Monster in that one. But it wasn't going to be a no disqualification match. It was going to be a Chaos Reigns match, actually. And for those that remember that match type, it's a rare match type that I've done here in AOA. In fact, the last time you can see it, go back to the World Collide video with myself and Coltrane did, and Expert helped too. Go back to that video. It was the main event of that show. That match. Prior to that, only did one at a time. So I was going to do that match type, but I'm like, nah. If I'm going to do it, I want to save it for like the match to do it in. And this, as a surprise, would have been a great surprise, but I wanted to save it. Because I want to bring that match type back again for under the ACW banner, but I want to save it for a really, really, really special moment or matchup or whatever the deal. So that's why I just stuck with a standard no DQ match here. So yeah, you want me to tell you how sure I was going to do a Chaos Reigns match? I literally set up the arena for it and everything. And I started to record it. And it was going well. But then I thought, wait a minute. Let me not do this. Let's do a standard no DQ match. And I want to save this match type for something special. And as special as this would have been, didn't feel big enough to do it. You know what I'm saying? I felt like this match, while huge, wasn't super big enough to warrant this match type. So I wanted to save that for a special occasion. So, sorry guys. But you guys still got a great matchup here between Nate and Monster in a co-main event. We do a brief rundown of some of the ACW graphics. indicated that it would be Jason Wells versus Austin Wallace, RJ Miles versus Johnny Rivers, due to a little interaction that they had on the All Out Action episode, where it was like before the rematch between Miles and A2J, where RJ said, basically told Johnny that, hey, all this preparation you were doing to A2J, you better prepare for me because I'm not about to apologize for what I do to your friend. Johnny rebutted and said, well, dude, I'm going to focus on the guy who's the world champion. And plus, if you lost to him, and plus, if I've beaten A2J before and you lost to him, then what say I can do to you? What does that mean I could do to you? RJ said, oh, okay, clever. So I'm going to challenge you to a match on the first ever ACW episode. And here we are. So that match is going to be taking place. And then we announced that the first ever pay-per-view is Mission X. More details to come on that one. I'm not going to get into too many details, but ACW Mission X is going to be the very first pay-per-view for the series. And really going to be the tone setter. You're going to see why. But with that, all that out of the way, we get to the main event. Jackson Wade, A2J World Championship Unification matchup. This was big. This had that big fight feel leading into it. From the way the matchup started to how it went throughout. This was a big fight feel. And I loved this main event. It was probably easily the match of the night. Even despite what happened. We're going to talk about that. Even despite what happened, I feel this match lived up to it. Oh, yeah, we're going for almost an hour. All right, bet. Okay. I feel this match lived up to the hype. This match toppled their first one, because the first match that they had was night 2 of the Action Draft. It was non-title. It was champion versus champion. But I think this match even toppled that one. Just great story throughout. Jack and Wade being the brooding powerhouse. A2J needs to do whatever he can to try to get back into this one. And then once he gets back into it, it was just a matter of him trying to stay on offense. But Jackson Wade was not letting that happen. He said, get this mess out of here. So, we get towards that. So many near falls. In fact, A2J kicked out of, I think, 2 spears. No, I think he dodged one. Kicked out of a spear. He got out of the accordion rack, which is one of Jackson Wade's finishers. A2J went for like 2 code breakers, then Jackson Wade kicked out of both of them. Not back to back, but like in total, he kicked out of 2 code breakers. I saved a lot of the major finisher kickouts for this match here, and for good reason. It's a world title unification match, a big match. They went for over 30 minutes. And then we're closing out here. I think Jackson Wade misses a spear. Jackson Wade tried to run off the rope. He tried to go for a kick. A2J counters, spins him around. Code breaker. Or Salida del Sol picks him up. Code breaker. He go for the second one. And then Austin Wallace runs out with a steel chair. He hits A2J in the back of the head. He hits Jackson Wade. He beats the brakes out of both men. And this match is seen as a draw. Because both championships were on the line. So, of course, champion's advantage would stay. Title can't change hands via count out or disqualification. So, when a disqualification happens, neither champion technically loses their championship at all. So, we bring this match to a draw. And that's literally how we end the show. Austin Wallace comes out, ruins the main event. No resolution, none of that. Right then and there, anyways. So a massive cliffhanger going into the first episode. So we know all champions. Sean being our global champion. The Twisted Disciple being our tag team champion. Gloria being our women's champion. But we have no world champion. And I think that was a great way to end the show. And how to end the show, I debated it several times. I thought about A2J winning. I thought about Jackson winning. I thought about a couple of other things. And what we got, I think, worked here, man. It provides a whole lot of intrigue, I believe, into watching the show, into getting into leading into that first episode, and even leading into what happens whenever the ACW management team reconvenes at the end of the month. It leads into all of that in a great way. Great cliffhanger to the first episode. And in general, I think it was a wild, confusing, yet thrilling end to the ACW show and the end of a all-out action and all-out revolution as a whole. And overall, banger match, banger pay-per-view. To me, I think the match of the night was, now I'm talking about it, Jackson Wade and A2J, easily the match of the night, but it's the main event, so it should be. Second in command to that would probably be our co-main event, Monster and Neat Shields, and probably third in line for that would be Gloria and Carolyn. And now I kind of wish I had that later on in the card, but I digress. So yeah, man, that's the end of an era. And I kind of already mentioned my thoughts and my feelings about it. It feels, I guess, bittersweet. This is something that, like I mentioned before, I needed. Switching to the 2-show format to prevent myself from being burnt out. But to also give you guys... Okay. But to also give you guys a way to keep the car stuff alive. And also... keep my TNA stuff going, too. Well, I'm not the type to wait too much longer. I don't think we have too many people here. I'm going to open the floor for any questions, any comments or anything, but I'm going to give y'all about a minute or two for that. But if not, we are going to check out of here. So like I said, I'm going to give you guys about a minute or two to ask any questions, any comments, anything of that sort. It was cool talking about it with y'all, seriously. Very cool talking about it with you guys. Seriously. And again, I encourage you guys to check out the show if you haven't already. Just putting it out there. Okay, I'm going to give it a little bit more time here. Okay. I guess if there don't seem to be any questions, comments, concerns, anything of that sort, we are going to check out here. So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you all enjoy it. I hope you all enjoyed the little podcast review here, update, whatever you want to call it. And if you enjoy, feel free to click the like, comment, and subscribe. Check out the other videos and streams on the channel. Spread the word. Spread the word about the channel. Till the next time I see you guys, be a boss, and I will holla at you guys later. Oh, right. Gotta hit yes on that.